So financial market refers to the market for creation and exchange of financial assets. The money market is a market for lending and borrowing of short-term funds. Call money market is transacted overnight, whereas notice money market is having a duration of 2 days to 14 days. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Today, we are in the 5th session of Unit 1, that is Introduction to Financial Service. So my dear students, now we shall quickly recall what we have discussed in a previous session. So in a previous session, we have covered this topic, that is types of financial service. So under that, non-fund based service. So there are two types of financial service, that is fund-based financial service and non-fund based financial service. So in a previous session, we have discussed about all these non-fund based financial service. So they are merchant banking, credit rating, stock broking, custodial service, loan syndication and securitization. In today's session, we shall continue with the new topic, that is financial market. They want to invest money. So they are in the requirement of money. So there are two types of people who is having excess money and the other is who is in need of money. Now what is the role of financial market? To transfer money who is having excess amount to one who needs the money. So it is called as financial market. So in this market, money from those who have surplus money, in the sense excess amount of money is transferred to those who require investment. So who are in need of money is nothing but who wants to invest. So here savings will be transferred to investment. So here one who is having excess amount of money, they want to save the money. So here savings is converted into investment. So this financial market helps in order to convert the savings into investment. Investors are surplus units and business enterprise are deficit units. Now why investors are surplus units? Because they are having excess amount of money, and business enterprise are deficit units because they are in need of money. So they want money in order to invest, where the financial market act as a link between surplus and deficit units. In the sense, they act as a link between investor as well as business organization. So financial market are the institutional arrangements by which savings generated in the economy are channelized into avenues of investment. So this I have told you, here savings is being converted into investment. So this financial market act as a channel in converting savings into investment. Now let us see what are the functions of financial market. So the first one is mobilization of savings and channelizing them into most productive users. It's nothing but conversion of savings into investment. So facilitate transfers of savings from the savers to the investors. So this I have told you, here the role of financial market is to convert savings into investment. Financial market help people to invest their savings in various financial instruments and earn income and capital appreciation. So here saving people always wants to save. They want to increase their money. Right? So this financial market take the money from them and invest in the most profitable venture. So whenever they get the profit, so that will be distributed among this saving people also, so that it will be helpful for both saving people as well as investing people. Facilitate mobilization of savings of people and their channelization into most productive use. So here the ideal money which is in the hands of saving people will be used for productive use. In the sense, it can be invested in the profitable ventures. And the second one is facilitates price discovery. So always price is dependent on demand and supply. So more the demand, higher will be the price. Right? So price of anything depends upon demand and supply. So when there is more demand, more supply, and of course the price also increases. So demand and supply of financial assets. So here we are not talking about demand and supply of goods. Here we are talking about demand and supply of financial assets. So demand and supply of financial assets and securities in financial market help in deciding the price of various financial securities. Here price can be dependent on demand and supply of the financial securities in the financial market, where business firm represents the demand and supply. So here what you have to remember, price is always dependent on demand and supply. So here price in the financial market depends upon demand and supply of financial securities. Provide liquidity to financial assets. So here, what do you mean by liquidity? That is conversion of asset into liquid cash. So here this financial market helps the securities, that is helps the conversion of securities into liquid cash. So financial market provide liquidity to financial instruments, in the sense financial assets, by providing ready market. So here financial market, as I told, it acts as a link. So it helps in creating ready market for the financial instrument of the investors. So for sale and purchase of financial assets. So here the financial assets of the investors can be sold. So it creates a ready market for the financial instrument. So whenever the investors want, they can invest their saving in long-term investment, and whenever they want, they can sell the investment. So here this financial market help the investors in order to purchase the investment, at the same time in order to sell the investment also. So whenever the investors are in need of money, they can sell the investment and it can be converted into cash immediately. Next, reduce the cost of transactions. So by providing valuable information. So here, as I told you, the quality of financial service dependent on the quality of information what they are going to give to the clients. So here it reduces the cost of transactions also. So by providing valuable information to buyers and sellers of financial assets, so it helps to save time, effort as well as cost of transaction. So here the financial market act as a link between investors as well as saving people. So it reduces the cost of transaction also. Next we shall see what are the types of financial market. So there are two types of financial market. One is money market and the second one is capital market. Now let us see what is this money market. The money market is a market for lending and borrowing of short-term funds. So here you have to remember this. So here lending and borrowing of funds takes place, the two only short-term funds. It deals in funds and financial instruments having a maturity period of 1 day to 1 year. Now, it deals with short-term funds where their maturity period is from 1 day to 1 year. So, here their maturity period starts from 1 day and the maximum is how much? 1 year. So, between these is known as what? Short-term funds. So, here money market represents short-term funds. It covers money and financial assets that are close substitutes for money. So, which are close substitutes for money in the sense which can be easily converted into cash within a year. The instruments in the money market are short-term nature and highly liquid. So, what do you mean by short-term nature? In the sense, the duration of this financial asset is from 1 day to 1 year and that can be easily converted into cash within 1 year. So, that comes under money market. The Indian money market consists of two segments, namely organized sector and unorganized sector. So, here the whole financial market is divided into two, money market and capital market. So, whole financial market is divided into two, that is money market and capital market. So, here Indian money market is again divided into two, that is organized money market and unorganized money market. Clear? So here whole financial market is divided into two types, money market and capital market. Again money market is divided into two, organized money market and unorganized money market. Now what is this money market? As I told, it deals with only short term funds where the maturity period is from 1 day to 1 year, and that can be easily converted into cash within 1 year. Now we shall see what is this organized sector and unorganized sector, or organized money market and unorganized money market. The RBI is the most important constitutes of Indian money market. So who is the most important constitute? RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. The organized sector is within the direct preview of RBI regulation. So here the money market is under RBI regulation. The unorganized sector comprises of indigenous bankers, money lenders and unregulated non-banking financial institution. So here what you have to remember, so the money market is being divided into two, organized sector and unorganized sector. Whereas organized sector is under the preview of RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. So all the rules and regulations of Reserve Bank of India will be applied to this organized sector. Whereas for unorganized sector, so it is not under the preview of RBI. Next we shall see what are the various types of money market under organized sector. So in today's session we shall discuss what are the various types of market which comes under organized sector. Call and notice money market. So this is one of the organized money market. Next treasury bill market. Next one is commercial bill market. Next market for certificate of deposit. So we call it as CDs. Next, market for commercial paper, CPs in the sense commercial papers, repos market. Next, money market mutual fund, MMFs. Next, discount for Finance House of India. So these are the some of organized sector which comes under money market. Let us see one by one what is this call and notice money market. So we shall see all these organized money market. Various types of money market under unorganized sector. So which are the unorganized sector here? That is indigenous bankers, money lenders, unregulated non-banking financial intermediaries and finance brokers. So this comes under unorganized money market. So in today's session we shall discuss about organized money market. So organized money market instruments are, so the first one is call and notice money market. We shall see what is this call and notice money market which comes under organized money market. So under call money market, funds are transferred on overnight basis. So you know here money market is nothing but it is a short term fund, right? So here call money market means what? It is transacted overnight. So here the funds are transacted on overnight basis. That is what? Call money market. Then what is this notice money market? So under notice money market, funds are transacted for a period between 2 days to 14 days. Here the duration of notice money market is 2 days to 14 days. Whereas call money market is only 1 day. That is through overnight they are going to transact. The funds lent in the notice money market do not have a specified repayment date. So here they don't have a specified repayment date and the duration is how much? 2 days to 14 days when the deal is made. So they don't have a specified repayment date. Now what you have to remember here, call money market is transacted overnight, whereas notice money market is having a duration of 2 days to 14 days, but there is no particular date for repayment. Then when they are going to repay, the lender issues a notice. So here the lender issues a notice to the borrower 2 or 3 days before the repayment. So 2 to 3 days before the fund are to be paid. On the receipt of this notice, the borrower have to repay the fund. So here the fund can be paid. So there is no specific date for the repayment. So before the payment, 2 to 3 days before, they will get a notice. So on that particular days, they have to make the payment. Generally, banks rely on the call money market. So here, bank rely on the call money market where they are going to transact on a single day, that is on a overnight. Now clear about this call as well as notice money market. So it is a short-term fund where call money market is transacted overnight, whereas notice money market is having a duration of 2 days to 14 days. But there is no specific date for repayment. So repayment will be made when they get the notice. That is during the date of repayment, before 2 to 3 days they will get a notice. On that particular date they have to make the payment. The main participant in the call money market are commercial banks, excluding RRBs, cooperative banks and primary dealers. Discount and Finance of India, non-banking financial institutions such as LIC, GIC, UTI, NABARD, etc. are allowed to participate in the call money market as lenders. So here they are going to transact for overnight. And the second one is treasury bills. It is also called as T-bills. So treasury bills are short-term securities. Once again, it is a short-term security issued by RBI. So it is been issued by RBI on behalf of Government of India. So here treasury bill is issued by whom? It is issued by RBI on behalf of Government of India. They are main instruments of short-term borrowing. So they are mainly issued for short-term borrowings by the government. They are useful in managing short-term liquidity. Now what you have to remember here, treasury bill is a short-term security where it is issued by the RBI on behalf of Government of India. Clear? And they are mainly dealing with short-term securities. At present, the Government of India issues 3 types of treasury bills. So which are the 3 types of treasury bills? Through auctions. So they are going to issue through auctions, namely 91 days, 182 days and 364 days treasury bill. In the sense, the duration of treasury bill is how much? 91 days, 182 days and 364 day treasury bill. There is no treasury bill issued by the state government. So it is issued by whom? It is issued by Government of India, but no treasury bill is issued by the state government. With the introduction of the auction system, interest rate on all types of treasury bills are being determined by the market forces. Now, how the interest rate has been determined? Depending upon the market forces, that is depending upon the demand as well as supply. So, depending upon the market force, they are going to charge the interest. So, treasury bill is a bill which is issued by the RBI on behalf of Government of India, and it is a short-term borrowing. And here what you have to remember, so there are 3 types of treasury bill: 91 days, 182 days and 364 days treasury bill. And here the interest is charged on the basis of what? Market forces, that is on the demand and supply in the market. And the next one is commercial bills. So commercial bill is also a short-term bill, negotiable and self-liquidating instrument with low risk. So it is also called as low risk instrument. So commercial bill is a short-term negotiable, in the sense it can be transferred from one person to another, and self-liquidating instrument, in the sense it can be easily converted into cash. They are negotiable instrument drawn by a seller on the buyer for the value of goods delivered by him. Such bill are called as what? Trade bill. Now, when the goods are sold on credit basis, for example, A sells goods to B on credit basis, then a bill is been created which is known as what? Trade bill. Now, using this bill, B has to make payment to A. So, which is known as what? Trade bill, and this will happen only in case of credit transactions. So, they are the negotiable instrument drawn by a seller. So, it is drawn by whom? By the seller on the buyer for the value of goods delivered by him. Such bill are called as what? Trade bill. Then what is this commercial bill? When trade bill are accepted by the commercial banks. So, when the trade bill are accepted by the commercial banks, then it is called as what? Commercial bill. If the seller gives some time for payment, the bill is payable at future date, which is known as what? Usance bill. So here the cash is being not paid immediately, so it will be paid in future date. So if the seller gives some time for payment, so here A gives some time for payment, the bill is payable in the future date, which is called as what? That is usance bill. Now here if the transaction have taken place between A and B, then it is called as what? Trade bill. If that trade bill is given to the commercial bank, then it is called as what? Commercial bill. Generally, the maturity period is up to 90 days. So, it is a short-term bill where the maturity period is 90 days. During the usance period, if the seller is in need of money. Now, as I told, here the seller have given some time to the purchaser to make the payment, right? So, during that period, if the seller is in need of money, then he can give that bill to the bank and he can discount the bill. So, I have explained in the previous session about discounting of bill. Now, A sells goods to B, but B doesn't make the payment immediately. Now, A is in need of money. Now, B takes some time, for example, 30 days. So, B takes some time. He will not make the payment immediately. So, he will make the payment after 30 days. So, now what A will do? A is in need of money. A want urgent money. What he will do? He will go to the bank and submit the bill. Now, what the bank will do? So, the amount will be written in that bill. That is, whatever the amount which has to be given by B to A, that amount will be written in the bill. What the bank will do? Bank will collect the bill and he will discount the bill and give the amount to A. For example, if 10,000 has to be given to A by B, what the A will do? A is in urgent need of money. A is gone to bank. Now A gives the bill, but bank will not give whole 10,000. It will deduct some amount and give the amount to A, which is known as what? Bill discounting. So here, if the seller is in need of fund, he may approach his bank for discounting the bill. Commercial bank can provide credit to customer by discounting commercial bills. The bank can rediscount the commercial bill any number of times during the usance period. So, usance period in the sense, the time which is given for the repayment of money, of bill and get the money. So, here A can discount the bill and take the amount from bank. So, after the maturity period, B will make the payment to bank. Next is certificate of deposit, which is also called as CDs. So, CDs are unsecured, negotiable promissory note issued at a discount to the face value. Now, what do you mean by CDs? So, CDs means certificate of deposit. So, it is a negotiable promissory note. So, negotiable in the sense it can be transferred from one person to another and it is a promissory note issued at a discount. So, it is not issued at a face value. It is issued at discount in the sense lesser than the face value. So, they are issued by the commercial banks and development financial institutions. So, who is going to issue this certificate of deposit? That is commercial banks as well as development financial institutions. CDs are marketable receipts of funds deposited in a bank for a fixed period at a specified rate of interest. So, here certificate of deposit can be deposited in the bank for a particular period of time with the payment of interest. So, CDs are marketable receipt of fund deposited in a bank for a fixed period at a rate of interest. CDs were introduced in India in June 1989. So, when certificate of deposit was introduced in India in the year 1989, that is June 1989, the main purpose of the scheme was to enable commercial bank to raise fund from market through CDs. So, the main aim is to enable the commercial banks to raise the funds through this certificate of deposit. So, here they are going to deposit for a fixed period with the interest. According to original scheme, CDs were issued in multiples of rupees 25 lakh. So, here it is been issued at a price of how much? Rupees 25 lakh subject to minimum size of an issue being 1 crore. So, from 25 lakh to 1 crore, so they can deposit in the bank for a fixed period of time along with interest. So they had the maturity period of 3 months to 1 year. So their maturity period is how much? 3 months to 1 year. In the sense it is a short-term security. They are freely transferable but only after the lock-in period of 45 days after the date of issue. So after the date of issue, in the sense after the date of issue till 45 days they cannot be transferred. But it can be transferred only after 45 days from the date of issue. Next, commercial papers. Let us see what is this commercial paper. So commercial paper is an unsecured money market instrument. So it is a unsecured money market instrument issued in the form of promissory note with fixed maturity. So it is like a promissory note which is having a fixed maturity period. They indicate the short-term obligation. So short-term in the sense what? It is for a shorter period of time of an issuer. They are quite safe and highly liquid. So it is quite safe as well as it is highly liquid. In the sense it can be easily converted into cash. They are generally issued by the leading national, reputed, highly rates as well as credit worth large manufacturing and finance companies. So one who is having or the credit worthiness of the organization is good. So they are going to give this commercial papers. In the sense these are short-term financial deposits which are deposited in the bank for a fixed period of time with interest. So it is a promissory note. So the organization whose credit worthiness is good, they only can do this, or they only can invest in the commercial papers, or they only can deposit in the commercial papers. Here the corporate will issue commercial paper only if the organization have fulfilled certain conditions. So I have told this commercial paper will be issued only depending upon the credit worthiness of the organization. So here the credit worthiness of the organization should be very good, then only this commercial paper will be given. Now they have to fulfill these conditions. That is, a corporate can issue commercial paper provided they fulfill the following condition. So the first condition is the tangible net worth of the company is not less than 4 crore. So here the net worth of the company should not be less than 4 crore. And the second one is the company has been sanctioned working capital limit by banks or all India financial institution. So here the company has to be sanctioned. So they has been sanctioned working capital limit. So they have sanctioned the working capital limit. And the third condition is the borrowed account of the company is classified as standard asset by the financial institution or bank. So these, if they fulfill these 3 conditions, then the corporate issue this commercial paper to the organization. The next one is repos. Now what is this repos? For this I'll give an example. There are 2 parties, A and B. Now A is having some securities and A is in need of money. What A will do? A will sell the securities to B. So A will sell the securities to B and there is an agreement between A and B. A will sell the securities for rupees, for example, 1 lakh. Now A and B have agreed to sell the securities for 1 lakh, but on the condition that A will repurchase that securities for more than sold price. For example, A will purchase that securities back from B for 1,50,000. For 1,50,000. In the sense, this 1,50,000 goes to B, right? Again, I'll repeat. Now, A is having some securities and A have sold as securities to B on an agreement where A will purchase that security or A will repurchase that security once again with a higher price than that of sold price. So, that is known as what? Repos. Here, A is known as what? Repo. And B is known as reverse repo. Now B is getting 50,000 more than that of the earlier transaction. So here 2 transactions takes place. Once A have sold the marketable securities to B for rupees 1 lakh and B have sold back that marketable securities to A for 1,50,000. Here 50,000 is gained by B. So A is known as repo and B is known as reverse repo. A repo or reverse repo is a transaction in which two parties, so here in this example there are two parties A and B agree to sell and repurchase the same security. Here A has sold the security and A has agreed that repurchase the same security. Under repo, the seller gets immediate fund by selling specified security. Now A will get the immediate amount, that is rupees 1 lakh, by selling the securities with an agreement to repurchase the same at a mutually decided future date and price. So in the agreement itself, A have decided that he is going to repurchase the same security from B from that of the higher price in the future date. Similarly, the buyer purchased the security. Here B purchased the securities with an agreement to resell the same. So he has agreed to resell the same security to the seller at an agreed date and price. So it is a agreement between two parties. A is known as repo and B is known as what? Reverse repo. So the repos in government securities were first introduced in India since December 1992. So the repo was introduced in the year 1992. Since November 1996, RBI has introduced reverse repo. So first repo was introduced in the year 1992. After that, reverse repos was introduced in the year 1996, that is to sell the government securities through auction. So here reverse repo means what? Selling the government securities through auction. And the next seventh one is Discount and Finance House of India. So this is also one of the organized financial market. So it was set up by RBI in April 1998. So when did it set up? In the year 1988, with the objective of deepening and activating money market. So in order to improve the money market, so this Discount and Finance House of India was introduced in the year 1988. So it is jointly owned by RBI, public sector banks and all India financial institution. So it is a combination. So here this sector is owned by RBI, public sector bank and as well as all India financial institutions which have contributed to its paid up capital. It is owned by RBI, public sector banks as well as all India financial institutions. So the DFHI deals in treasury bills, commercial bills, CDs, CPs, short-term deposits, call money market and government securities. So these are the instruments in which DFHI deals. The presence of DFHI as an intermediary in the money market has helped the corporate entities, banks and financial institutions to invest their short-term surplus in money market instruments. So what you have to remember, so DFHI is first started in the year April 1988. So it was jointly owned by RBI, public sector banks and other financial institutions, that is all India financial institutions who have contributed in the paid up capital. Next, these are the securities or these are the instruments which comes under DFHI. The presence of DFHI as an intermediary. So it acts as an intermediary in the money market in order to improve the money market. Next is money market mutual fund. So what do you mean by money market mutual fund? So here the small investors will not be able to invest in the large investment, right? So here the small investors will not be able to invest in the large installment. So in order to pool the invest of the small investors, so this mutual fund was started. So what do you mean by mutual fund? Pooling of investment of small investors and investing in the large ventures is known as what? Mutual fund. Here they are going to bring all the investment or the savings of small investors. So here the mutual fund pools the savings of small investors and this amount will be invested in profitable ventures. So mutual fund means what? pooling the savings of small investors and investing that amount in profitable ventures. Here the small investors cannot invest in the high profitable ventures. So during such situation, what happens? All the small savings are pooled together or bought together, and that big amount will be invested in profitable ventures so that they will get a high rate of return. So RBI introduced MMMFs, that is money market mutual funds, in April 1992 to enable small investors to participate in the money market. That is, in order to enable the small investors, in order to contribute the small investors in the big investment. So MMMFs mobilize the savings from small investors and invest them in short-term debt instruments or money market instruments such as call money, repos, treasury bills, CDs and CPs. So here these small savings will be mobilized to these instruments. So these instruments are form of debt and mature is less than 1 year. So why it comes under money market? Because its maturity is less than 1 year. So in my next session, I am going to discuss about various types of money market under unorganized sector. So in today's session, we have discussed various types of money market under organized sector. In my next session, we shall discuss about unorganized sector. My dear students, in today's session, we learnt what is money market and what are the instruments which comes under money market under organized sector. In my next session, I am going to continue with instruments under unorganized sector in money market. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.